Hey everyone, thank you for joining me today. This is day 2 of broadcasting goodness. Today, what's heaven's tabloid saying? So that's what we're going to look at. It'll be 10 minutes. And I hope you enjoy this because every single day we are reading about what the world is saying. You open Facebook, you open news, whatever you open, the world has something to say about what is not going well, what is not working well. And like all this information, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's like very depressing because it's like coronavirus did this. Oh, people are shutting down. Oh, people have to wear masks. People have to do this. Like the world is changing at a fast rate with bad news. Like it's people just want to close their TV and all that. But one thing that I was thinking, like, what is heaven saying? Because I'm sure God has something to say every single day. Like I'm sure, this is just me, but I'm sure that heaven is producing newspapers, news tellers every day who are broadcasting God's goodness. So I was like, what if we tune in? What if we tune in to what heaven is saying every single day and see what he has for us? So without much further ado, that's what I'm here to do today. Just tune in to see what heaven is saying today. And the song that came to my mind is called Take Courage. It's another song by Bethel, and it's a beautiful song. So I'll just sing one of the stanza and kind of like break it down to see what God has for us today. All right. So I'll just read it and then at the end I will sing it. Okay. So it says, "And you who hold the stars, you call them each by name. You will surely keep your promise to me that I will rise in your victory." So what is being said there? Like, what is God saying to us today? God is saying to us today that he has numbered the stars. He knows each and every star by name. Like the thought that came to my mind when I was thinking of it is like God is looking at all the stars, and he's like, okay, you're Andrew, you're Mark. I don't know what the stars' name are, but I'm just trying to imagine, like, when God created them, when he called them out and he says, let there be stars. He called them each by name. Like, guys, when we look at the stars, when we look at the sky outside, like there are myriads, there are millions and billions of stars. So now imagine that God has called them each by name, just like he knows us. There are billions and billions of people in this world, but God knows each person by name. And to even make it amazing, he knows even the number of hair on each person's head. I'm like, I can't even count what is in one strand of my, my dread, but God knows how many strands are in them. So this is this is what God is telling us today, that I know you by name. I know the stars. I know the number of stars in the heavens. I know them each by name. I've called them by name. So how much more do I know you? And then the song goes on to say that he will surely keep his promises. So why would this person liken God knowing the names of the stars with a promise keeper? Because remember, when God made a promise to Abraham, he told him that go outside, look up. If you can count the stars, then you can count the promises that I have for you. Like you can number them, because it's like as the sands are on the seashore, that is how much like my thoughts are towards you. Like God has such good thoughts towards us. God has so many promises that he's given to us. It's not just the promise of salvation. It's not just the promise of good health. It's not just the promise of a good family. No, he has thousands and myriads of promises that he has called by name and he has written for us, ready for us. So this is the kind of God we serve. This is what he wants us to know today. This is the breaking news of heaven, that God has so many promises for each and every person today. We may not see them yet coming into fruition. We may not behold them yet. But you know, the Bible says we do not walk by what we see. We do not walk by sight, but we walk by faith. We operate by faith. That is what the children of heaven operate by. Not by what they see, not by what is being said in the news every day, but what God has spoken in his word and what he has spoken over each and every one of us. So I want to sing the song for you, okay? Because it's such a blessing to know what a song means, what the words means, and just let it minister to us, or let it just be wash over us. So this song wash over you. So, you who holds the stars, who calls them each by name, will surely keep your promise to me that I will rise in your victory. You who holds the stars, who calls them each by name, will surely keep your promise to me that I will rise in your victory. So basically, no matter what the circumstance is, no matter what the news is saying, what we are seeing on our Facebook, on the newspaper, what the world is saying, God is saying he has called us by name. God is saying he has promises that he has named particularly for us. It's not just for anyone out there, but it's for us. God is so individualistic in how he fashions his promises. He just doesn't say generally, he generally blesses everyone. The Bible says he rains his rain upon everyone, the evil and the good. But this same God is saying that he knows each star, each single star in the heavens. He knows them by name. He knows us by name, and he knows the promises that he has spoken to us by name, and he will keep them. He will keep them because he is faithful. God does not just make an oath to us. He makes an oath to himself. That's what he did with Abraham. The Bible says that he looked and he searched, but he could find no one that he could make an oath with. So he made it by himself, to himself. He said, you know what? This promise is amazing. There's no one else who I can make this covenant with but by myself. So he put Abraham to sleep and he said, I'm going to make this covenant with myself, to myself, to keep this promise to you. And that is what he has done for us today. And that is what he wants to remind us today, that he has made the promise to himself to bless us, to himself to prosper us, to himself to bring good upon our lives and not evil. Because the plans he has for us, if we could just take a peek at the blueprint of the plans God has for us, we would, I don't even have the words for it, but we would be beyond amazed. We would be beyond, I don't even know. The Bible says no eye has seen, no ear has heard. It has not even come to the imagination of man what God has planned for those who love him, for those who know him. It cannot be carried by this mind or this imagination. So guys, be blessed and let this ring true in your spirit today. It's not what we see, it's not what we hear, it's not what we feel or even think. All those things are good, but what is true is what God has spoken over us. What is true is what God has spoken in his word. What is true is what heaven is broadcasting today. So be blessed, and I will see you tomorrow to see what heaven is broadcasting, because that is what we walk by. All right, guys, thank you for joining. Bye.